Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel on LELB Society. You can see the domain of my website here, so easy to remember, lelb.net. In this session I'm going to make an assessment of one of the essays written by one of the LELB Society's students. Is an IELTS essay task 2, an argumentative essay, and in this video you're going to learn a lot about pronunciation, vocabulary, so it's not just restricted to IELTS essay writing, and vocabulary, grammar points, punctuation, pronunciation, reading comprehension with the help of so many flashcards. By the way, I'm Dr. Hariri. I'm the creator and administrator of LELB Society, an online community to practice English academically and professionally, and actually take a lot of pleasure in this activity. Okay, so get ready to enjoy a lot. The topic is City Life, IELTS Writing Task 2. By the way, the topics are all original. So, this is the topic. These days, more and more people are leaving rural areas in search of decent jobs in urban societies. These days, or nowadays, used to talk about the present time. More and more means an increasing number of or amount of people. People are living rural, means actually referring to the countryside, to the country, not city. Or rustic places. Rural is the opposite of urban. Okay. In search of, decent, in search of means looking for something. Decent means good. Okay. And the opposite is indecent. Indecent, the opposite of that. Jobs in urban societies. Okay, so what could be the consequences or results of this broad trend or attitude? What solutions can you provide? This is the topic. Okay, and the essayist is Sasan, one of the active LELB Society's students. Alright, so nowadays a lot of people immigrate to urban areas in order to get handsome jobs. Nowadays means these days. A lot means a large number or amount or number of people or things immigrate to. And I have just written down in this way. If you click on number 1, you will have access to my analysis. It's better to say move to, because immigration has something to do with actually leaving your country to reside in another country. But here we are talking about actually moving from rural areas to urban areas. So please note that immigration means changing your country. Okay, and I click here to go back to number 1. Immigrate to urban areas in order to, or so as to, get handsome jobs. Okay, for handsome is not a good collocation for job. We have handsome salary, income, price, payment, etc. But for example, well-paid jobs, but we don't have handsome jobs. Although it is an opportunity for job seekers, it has some detrimental effects on the society. A very good grammatical point is that when you start your sentence with although, you should not start the second sentence with but, which is a common mistake. So here the essayist is right by not using but here. Okay, although it is an opportunity for job seekers, it has some detrimental or negative effects on the society. Okay, this essay deals with these issues, and also some solutions are provided for the betterment of this condition. Betterment means for the improvement, especially in someone's social and economic conditions. Okay, so deals with these issues and problems, and also some solutions are provided for the betterment of this condition. This is a great way to start your essay and actually write your introductory paragraph. Okay, so let's move to the next paragraph, which is the first supporting paragraph. Excessive movement of people to capital cities gives rise to many problems. Excessive means more than enough. Movement of people. Movement is a good word here. It's much better than immigration of people to capital cities or metropolitan. It means actually large cities. Gives rise to means result in many problems. Okay, so starting your supporting paragraph from the most general to the most specific, let's say, pieces of information. First of all, before doing anything else, the urban areas become crowded unexpectedly. For sure, it's actually highly predictable. So traffic jam, okay, and even actually there is a photo attributed to that, but because I've zoomed in, you cannot see that. On LELB Society, you can have access to over 1,070 flashcards so far, which is increasing every day. So air pollution, noisy atmosphere, and the lack of accommodation are some of the issues that jeopardize standard of living in urban areas noticeably. So traffic jam, these are all relevant or related to the problem of crowded cities. Traffic jam, air pollution, noisy atmosphere, and the lack of. Okay, we don't have the lack of, we have lack of or a lack of, but no the lack of. So either lack of or a lack of. Accommodation or some of the issues that jeopardize means actually in danger. Let me write it down. In danger. Also, the noun form of jeopardize is jeopardy. Jeopardy. Okay. Jeopardize standard of living or living standard. Okay, in urban areas noticeably, to a noticeable degree. Okay. Moreover, a very good conjunction to add something else. In addition, moreover, furthermore, the price of everything, especially rent prices, goes up. For goes up, you could say soar also. Soar. Up in capital cities, and it brings about a gap between the dwellers. It's better to say the dwellers, actually, because of that of big cities and people in rural areas, and the people. It's better to say the people in, as they are almost known to us because they are definite to us, which is the opposite of indefinite. Okay. In terms of means with regard to something. Okay. Social etiquette. Etiquette refers to well accepted or accepted behavior in the society and good manners. So the problem that I have found from this part is that, let me just, so please refer to my analysis in the section of reasoning. Let me just go to the section of reasoning. Okay, in your second paragraph, you have tried to convince the reader that there must be a gap between city and country dwellers in terms of social etiquettes. social etiquettes due to expenditure fluctuations. I don't see any logical strong link between high cost of life and acceptable social behaviors. Even the following paragraph about city dwellers' superiority is not germane to the concept of social etiquette. So it's not convincing when you say, for example, in large cities, because of their high expenditures, actually people, there is a gap between the social etiquette, because actually you need to bring convincing reasons. Okay, let me go back to number 6. So you see the point here. It says there is a gap between the dwellers of big cities and people in rural areas in terms of social etiquette, which is not supported. From a psychological point of view, it must be a psychological point of view. Okay, in such condition, people in capital cities have a sense of superiority. Superiority means considering yourself more important over others. And in other words, remember, before in other words, you should not use and. Do not use and before in other words. Okay, and in other words, big cities become the center of attention, which is intolerable to the people who live in the country. Again, it's not that convincing, but anyway, it's much better than the previous sentence. So from a psychological point of view, in such conditions, people in capital cities have a sense of superiority over other people. To put it in another word, in other words, big cities become the center of attention, which is intolerable, which is not tolerable to the people who live in the country. Okay. So starting another paragraph, the second supporting paragraph and the third paragraph overall. Nevertheless, however, some strategies can be adopted to keep the balance of populations. It's better to say population in a singular form. It's better to say population. Okay, in different cities. For example, establishing firm. Here the writer is trying to give some solutions to the problem of excessive movement of people from rural areas to urban areas. Establishing firms and factories in rural areas can encourage the job seekers to stay in their own regions, which is a good solution, good suggestion, practical suggestion. Also, the government can offer subsidies, or grant subsidies to business owners to found branches in the countryside. In the country also, you could say, or in rural areas. In doing so, most of people prefer to stay in their own cities. So this is a mistake that the writer has made. Let me refer to my analysis number 10. It must be in their own regions, because you are giving some solutions so that people living in the countryside would not rush to cities. They would stay in their own areas. So, and if I click on this arrow, okay, so that's it. And in conclusion, movements of the young to the urban areas for finding a job induce is not a good, let me see. First of all, it must be induced because it refers to movements, and movements is plural. Okay, so this is called agreement. So let me go back to, okay, some problems in about 12. It's better to say cause, create, or arouse some problems. Induce is not collocationally appropriate for problems. 12. Okay. So some problems. However, some steps can be implemented so as to, or in order to, prevent those issues. Okay, and coherence, it's good. Cohesion, above average. Grammar, good. And reasoning, I read that part. And essay analysis, your conclusion is rather too short and or unspecific. Even actually in the concluding paragraph, you can repeat some keywords. So repetition of keywords actually is quite authorized. And a word count 264, which is excellent. It must be above or at least 250 words. And also, if you click here, you can study the growing archive of our IELTS Writing Task 2 and also learn how to perform well on IELTS Writing Task 2. And as you might already know, on LELB Society, here is the original comment by the essayist, and also you can use this comment form to leave your own questions and comments. And on LELB Society, actually there is a free class for all. If you're interested, you can participate in this free class for IELTS and TOEFL if you just visit my website at lelb.net. Let me write it down here, lelb.net. Actually, you can, on the right sidebar, you see there a list of some classes. One of them is actually a free class for IELTS and TOEFL. It's free, 100% free for all. And also we do have a group class in preparation for IELTS. And also you can let me help you to excel at learning the English language for a variety of purposes. And the first session is all free. I can be your private teacher, and I have a lot of private students all over the world, and we try to personalize the procedure, course books, materials, activities on the basis of your needs and goals. And also, if I really hope you enjoyed this vocabulary and also essay writing lesson. So if you did, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and just hit the subscription button so that you will be able to access a lot of other videos that are upcoming. Thank you very much for your attention. Take care and bye-bye.